What you're looking at is Bromley Rock, which is a location about 20 kilometers east of the town of Princeton. During the summertime, it's a very popular swimming spot. It's actually a provincial park surrounds this area, but the actual rock itself is what we're looking at, and people typically dive off of it in the summertime. But as you can see, Similkameen River is pretty much iced up around here. We're going to zoom in on the open channel in the distance there. As you can see, it's moving pretty swiftly, and that's why it's not all frozen up. See if the camera can focus on that. There we go. So you can see it's moving pretty swift around that corner. And further downstream is the community of Headley, but that's a few kilometers away from at this point. We'll just zoom back in or zoom back out rather, and just give you a bit of a panoramic view of a bit of the area here. This is, as I said, Bromley Rock Provincial Park, and a lot of people will recognize this area. I'm actually kind of zooming up towards the actual campsite portion, or rather the day use portion. The campsite portion is kind of behind us. You might be able to see a couple of picnic tables in there, but people who are used to this area will recognize basically where I'm standing is usually a nice sandy beach. And of course this is all frozen up with various thicknesses of ice. And it's only about 1 above, so it's not very cold out here either today. But Similkameen River working its way through. Not a lot of ice buildup here, as it's just basically a solid cover of ice. And with the water lower than normal as well, it is very likely that some of this ice has grown down to the bottom of portions of the river. There's absolutely no landmarks here I could point out to you. There's a couple of rocks that usually stick out during the summer, but I'm not too sure where they're located here because they're all covered in snow and ice. But again, probably the most prominent landmark here is that big giant rock in the center of the frame, and that is Bromley Rock, which is how this park got its name. And as I said, if you are familiar with this area, you'll recognize that particular site.